Show. Fame Show.
Searching in the dark, sweat so full of fire. Buried in your bones is a name that you can't go to. Friend, something you find. What is real is left behind. If I was real, it's fun. It's a picture of a memory. Celebrating with a big memories. Don't you know it's time to water burn. Started on our eyes. Run away so high.
Fave Show.